The dust is yet to settle over the appointment of Ola Olukoyede as chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, by President Bola Tinubu. Earlier, Femi Falana, SAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, picked a hole in the appointment of the new Economic and Financial Crimes Commission chairman, saying that it is unlawful and against the federal character principle for the chairman of the two anti-graft federal agencies in Nigeria, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, ICPC, and EFCC, to confront the same geopolitical zone. However, as if the presidency had Femi Falana's appeal, just yesterday, a new ICPC chairman was appointed by President Tinubu. He is Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, former Attorney General of Jigawa State. Nevertheless, Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Osita Okechukwu, stated that Olukoyede's critics should calm down, asserting that the appointment of the former EFCC secretary is a game changer for the anti-graft war crusade, considering Olukoyede's track record. Joining us now on the morning show as we further analyze the appointment of Ola Olukoyede is Osita Okechukwu, Director General, Voice of Nigeria, VON. Good morning, Mr. Okechukwu. Good to have you on the morning show again.
Good morning, Dr. Ruby. Good morning, Sister Ayo.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Incisive Rufai.
Bless you.
Good morning.
Bless you.
Good morning, your viewers. And congratulations. Arise for your awards. I've seen you accumulating a lot of awards. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Mr. Okechukwu, yesterday, there were protests at the National Assembly by persons saying the Senate should not confirm the appointment specifically of Mr. Olukoyede as chairman of the EFCC. There was no complaint about the appointment of a new secretary, Amajoda, but they said that Olukoyede's appointment, as some other commentators have also said, is a violation of Section 2 of the EFCC Act, which says that the EFCC chairman to be appointed should not be of a lower rank of an assistant commissioner of police or the equivalent in terms of cognate experience. But you have been quoted as saying there's no issue here and that Olukoyede is fit and proper and qualified to be EFCC chairman and that his appointment will be a game changer. Well, I don't know whether that's a phrase put in your mouth, but what is your position? And if it is true that you said it will be a game changer, how?
Thank you very much, Dr. Ruby. My appeal to Olukoyede's traducers is that his appointment is a game changer, that they should sheath their sword, calm down, and join some of us in setting an agenda for him, because I watch him closely in the regime of Ibrahim Magu. And when they were removed, the shine in the anti-graft crusade was as if he was dead. And I could see him with the recent appointment taken up from there. I've watched them closely. I've also, my correspondent had covered them, covered the most recent and the present. And we will normally sit down to analyze what is actually the gains made within this short period or within the 6 or thereabouts Olukoyede served with Ibrahim Magu. So, and I looked at it after a cursory analysis. I said it is very unusual for controversy or debates to erupt after such sensitive appointments like that of the EFCC chair. So it's not unusual. But what most of the traducers forget is the ageless maxim of one of the foremost physicians of all time, Albert Einstein, that says that insanity is doing one thing again, over and over, and expecting different results. For God's sake, the Nigerian Police Force Act contains all manner of clauses that covers what the EFCC is doing, what ICP is doing, even what DSS is doing. But it was because somehow it was found out that leaving an important crusade like the anti-graft war within the police force might not produce the same result, because that corruption, according to President Buhari, is either will fight it or it kills Nigeria. So that was why EFCC was set up. Over the years, yes, the HEMS was managed by recruitment, mostly from the same police force, that we are judged in our own enlightened self-interest that they were less than performing the way we wanted. And suddenly, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, in his own wisdom, looked into the background of Olukayede, that all his legal practice was on fraud matters. And he served equitably while Chief of Staff to Ibrahim Magu and Secretary of the Commission. And I have looked the commentaries, and I discovered that the preponderance of the opinion of senior counsels is that his appointment is unexplainable. I've discussed with some NGOs, and I told them, let's mount an agenda for him. Let him, as a lawyer with a fraud perspective that had participated in the Presidential Advisory Committee on Corruption and participated in the repositioning of Nigerian Finance Intelligence Unit, NFIU, that he should use it to do thorough investigation before Mr. Okechukwu or Mr. Musa or Mr. Ade is accused of any anti-graft offenses. Before, just like they do all over the world, let's not go first with media trial. Let's first and foremost, the background he has will afford us that opportunity for him to do thorough investigation before bringing anybody to the public limelight. And secondly, and most importantly, I've discussed with a lot of diplomats. I asked them, simple question, is it only General Abacha of blessed memory that has loots in your countries? And they said, no, Osita, you have been borrowing. If you don't want to borrow any longer, please tell one of your agencies to write us, because we do not investigate without request. So it's not only the Abacha loot that is stashed abroad. We are now owing this, we are owing that. If we start returning some of the funds abroad with a good agreement that it will not be reluted, then we will get out of the debt burden, and the Nigeria will be bailed out of our economic quagmire. Right. That's my position. I know that Olukayede would do so.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Okechukwu, and your assertion that you believe that he will do well, again, presenting his track record, his CV to us, and just sharing as to why you think he's the best fit for the job. But there's still the matter around the provisions of the extant law with regards to the EFCC Act. And a number of people following this, following Mr. Olukoyede's appointment, have said perhaps it's another opportunity to re-examine the qualifications or perhaps the expectations in terms of the conditions by which a person will be considered as EFCC chairman. do you think it's important for the person to have experience in law enforcement, or perhaps have worked in the police service, have served at least up to the position of Assistant Commissioner of Police? Do you think it is necessary to work effectively as EFCC chairman, beyond having administrative experience, as in the case of Mr. Olukoyede? Is it important to have a law enforcement background, beyond being a lawyer?
Thank you, my sister. It is strike law that you do not go your way to shoot down a statue or sew your own dress and wear it to the law. And that the law must be read holistically. The provisor for coordinate experience did not attach the coordinate experience with the fact that he must be an ex-police officer. If the law wanted that, the law could have joined it. So it is strike law. It's a position of the law that you do not, out of your own wishes, start wearing the law garments. What you can do rather is that after the Senate have finished any time to finish with the era of Olukoyede, you can approach the Senate for an amendment of the law to say that that law, 15 years cognate experience, should be fixed to either the police or the security agencies as mentioned. But those brilliant lawyers have debated this roundly, both in your channels. And preponderance of them had said the cognate experience is not attached to those two elements. That what Olukoyede had assailed is unassailable, and that lawfully, he was not just a lawyer of charge and bail, he was a lawyer that have gone deep and even done some studies on that in Harvard and other places in an effort to enhance himself. And for me, let's give him a chance, and all of us join locally now. If Olukoyede start fighting our regime, nobody will accuse him of ethnic card, because he comes from the same geopolitical zone with Mr. President. And as Senior Counsel Femi Falana said, that card had been demobilized by the appointment of Musa Aliyu Esquire, former existing Attorney General of Jigawa State. So luckily for Nigerians, it's like some of my people from the Southeast are crying wolf. I told them, don't cry. The federal government is a big elephant. But it's good you are shouting, because it will get to us. We have been left in the cards, but I don't think President Tinubu will deliberately walk away and finish all the assignment without giving us some tangibles within the cocktail.
Okay. Great to have you, sir, Mr. Osita Okechukwu. Two questions. Number one will be, you said the cognate experience that the proviso did not, talk anything about the how specific the cognate experience will be. But there is a prior statement before the 15 years cognate experience that talks about the fact that you must be in the security forces or equivalent of position of assistant, Assistant Commissioner of Police. So a lot of people have also made the argument that is that not a starting point for it? Is that not the first part qualifying the 15 years cognate experience? Because you can't just say cognate experience. It's not up in the air. It must be couched around specific area. And being a lawyer that have defended or, that have done fraud cases is different from being a law enforcement officer that goes out there, that effects arrest and all of that. I mean, what do you say about the argument? And secondly, please, if I got you right, you said if he starts to question our regime, you would not say otherwise. Are you saying that the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a regime? I just want to get clarity on that, because that's new. Are we in a regime?
Thank you, Arufai. If you want to call it whether glucose or glucody, administration, Mr. President, or Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, or regime, let's not go into the semantics.
But regime means an
What
authoritarian government, Sal. That's why I'm clarifying. So are you saying this government is going to be authoritarian and draconian? Because that's what the regime means.
My brother, maybe I didn't go as deep as you in English language. You know, I came from a village school.
Me too, I didn't go to school.
Let's call it President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GSF administration. And let's put that aside. I'm saying that is a position of the law that you do not do your own tie or coat or dress for the law. That if it's what is stated is in a plain English language and unambiguous, you don't make it to look ambiguous. It's not ambiguous. That's why in every day, the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic provides for amendments. Those who feel so could jolly well go for an amendment or allow the law to interpret. But what I'm pleading with the Nigerian Senate, headed by His Excellency Godswill Akpabio, is that the Nigerian people need to know the little we know about Ulukoyede. That is a game changer. It's going to change the matrix. And one of the agendas I put on the table is that he should, with his experience, do thorough investigation to avoid media trial. It's not that the issue will not come to the media. But if one Mr. Okechukwu, one Ade, one Musa is found culpable, let them finish the investigation, no matter how long it takes. In the investigation of Donald Trump in America, it took over 3 years, going to 4, before the New York Attorney General said, this is it. Yeah, they lived with Trump over the years, but they could not just go into media trial until they finished their investigation. And that's the only way where the state can be saved and where even the application of payback is done before even some people are brought to the media. There are investigations where we see you with $10 billion or 1 million or 2. We say, can we quietly get back this money to the coffers of the federal government? It's stated in the law. But if you go for media trial, that's why EFCC lose most of the cases. Because they first jump into media trial. Before they do their thorough investigation, they come to your house, rake up all the documents, check your wife's account, your brothers, your sisters, and start saying, yes, this money must have gone from there. But that is what I'm pleading with Ulukoyede, if he's confirmed, that he should use his experience in fraud matters to use a team in the EFCC to do thorough investigation before mentioning anybody's name. And secondly, that is not the only General Sani Abacha of blessed memory that stashed billions abroad. That the Nigerian money are dormant in certain bank accounts abroad. And what the diplomats told me is that it's not incumbent on them to tell you this is what happened. It is only when the Nigerian government, through one of the agencies like the EFCC, makes a request. That for some of us that think that the money is developing them, that is a lie. That in America, for instance, some companies like Apple, their turnover is worth more than a lot of countries in Africa have in a yearly budget. So it's not our money that is developing them. They're ready to help us, but it needed an experienced investigator that will be in a position. And for you to say that the secretary of the EFCC is below, now, if you go through the act again, you know that it is not only head of administration, but for God's sake, a secretary goes through all the files before he goes to the chairman and advises the chairman accordingly. He coordinates all the agencies, both operations. So if you coordinate operations for more than 6 years, and somebody says you are not qualified, and is in line with all you have done for 22 years, for God's sake, let's give the young man a chance to prove himself. If he fails us, we cannot head to court or to the Senate for his recall.
Mr. Okechukwu, well, thank you very much. Just to note some points, I don't imagine that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, led by Godswill Akpabio, will deny the President of Nigeria the pleasure of appointing Olukoyede as EFCC chair. Some of the points you have made, same points have been made by Femi Falana SAN, who says that if you look at Section 2 of the EFCC Act, it says, yes, not below the rank of an EFCC, of an ACP in the police, and also the equivalent of having served in a law enforcement agency or in a security agency. And if you look at the experience of Olukoyede as secretary and also as acting chair of the EFCC, that he will seem to be qualified. But in any case, Abdulrasheed Bawa, before him, was not even a police officer before he became chairman of the EFCC. And the bigger question, the other question that we have not addressed is, where is Abdulrasheed Bawa? The laws of Nigeria, Section 35 and Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution, do not allow anybody to be detained indefinitely without such persons not being asked why they are being detained. Thank you very much, Mr. Okechukwu, for joining us on the morning show.